good afternoon. Time's moved on. I was here quite early this morning. Let me introduce myself because I'm going to be chairing the OTM Forum for the next couple of days. I'll be the link man. I'll be chairing some of the panel sessions as well. And I noticed the whole event is set up so there are little breaks between sessions. But if some of you can sit out the whole day, I think you'll find you'll learn a lot. It'll be very worthwhile. And can I have my presentation, please? Thank you. So let me introduce myself. If I can get a new slide up. Can I have the next slide, please? So this is me. I run a management consultancy called Genesis Digital Transformation. And we've been in business for over 25 years now, which predates the internet. We've been doing this quite a long time. And we work with travel companies, large ones, some of the largest in the world, and some of the smallest in the world as well, little family businesses, just helping them to take on board technology and understand how to move forward in what's become a very tech-driven industry nowadays. Travel industry used to be a people industry. It still is a people industry, but now we've got technology to contend with as well. Not easily done because a lot of travel people love travel, but they're not so great at technology. So it's an issue it needs thinking about. I chair quite a few of the European digital travel technology related conferences, so I'm very lucky I get a good input listening to other speakers about what's happening in the world of digital travel, we'll call it. And what I thought I might do just to set the scene for the day is to maybe go through a timeline of how technology has moved on. So let's have a look at my timeline. Yeah, I'm trying that, thank you. So here's a timeline running from 1988 up to 2019. This isn't great, gentlemen, so thank you. Just stop there, thank you. And what have we got here? Right back in 1991 was the first web page. I don't think it did very much. Who remembers 1993? Anyone was around when Netscape first came out, Netscape 1.0? Thank you. I remember, yeah, well done. You'll remember that it was very exciting. You could download Netscape, I think in about an hour and 3/4 on a dial-up modem. So, you know, new bit of software, hour and 3/4 later, if your modem didn't fail, you had it. But it's very, very exciting. I remember the first airline booking system. Rather than phone up to book for a flight in about 5 minutes, you could go online and you could book the flight yourself, and it would only take about 25 minutes, 35 minutes, and it would be done. So it was nice to do, but it seemed useless at the time. I don't know who in 2001 first got an iPod. Did anyone have an original 2001 iPod? They go on eBay, so I don't understand your currency. But on eBay, they're selling about £15 now. They're not quite collector's items. So technology got off to a very slow start up to 2001. And come 2003 up to 2009, things went quicker. Very exciting when 3G launched because that enabled us to do a little bit of data surfing on our mobiles, rather slow. Facebook launched. And I remember my wife decided she ought to be on this thing and she signed up for something. She didn't understand Facebook. She signed up for something called Facebox. And suddenly she was getting all these men who were emailing her saying, you know, would you like to date with me? And she said to me, Paul, what's going on? I said, actually, you know what? You've signed up for the wrong thing. It's Facebook you should be on, not Facebox. So I unsubscribed her very quickly. YouTube was very exciting. In the early days of YouTube, United Airlines was taking a passenger on board who had a guitar with him. And unfortunately, the baggage handlers dropped that guitar, and this musician made a YouTube movie. Did you see it? Called United Breaks Guitars. And it was the first time you saw the power of YouTube and the power of social media to almost bring down a company. United Airlines didn't know how to respond to this. They got terrible publicity. And I think that was the first example of social media actually showing it has some power over corporations. And yep, we had iPhones with web browsing, and Twitter goes mainstream. Has anyone here got more than 50,000 followers? No, me neither. But got to be very careful with Twitter. In the UK, we just had a well-known television commentator have to resign his position because he quoted Shakespeare on Twitter, but unfortunately it wasn't a good quote, and he was quoting to the wrong person. He was out of a job. Social media has power. Let's have the next one. Thank you. No, can we go back, please? Went too far. Thank you. So we moved through the Internet of Things, the first Wi-Fi kettle. Does anybody own one? I don't. I can't think what to do with it. An Apple Watch Series 1. I'm wearing a Series 4 now. Don't bother buying a Series 5. It doesn't do much extra on Series 4. And the first domestic voice devices. I've got 3 Amazon Echoes at home, and I use them to turn the lights on and off, check the weather, play some music. Are they rolled out here in India, voice devices, yeah? Hands up who's got one in their home. I used to do that in the early days with mobile phones. Hands up who's got a mobile phone. There was hands up who's got 2 mobile phones, and hands up who's got 3 mobile phones, and now it's all voice devices. And I actually see voice as having a very big future. Unfortunately, for us in the travel industry, unless you run an airline, flights are just a commoditized product. Unfortunately, beautiful tourism landscapes, hotels, images, they don't work well on voice devices. And if you go to my website, you'll see I recently wrote a blog that I see maybe voice devices as a new super aggregator, and maybe voice devices, we'll touch on this on one of the sessions, maybe voice devices will become the predominant way for us to actually purchase things. The problem with voice devices is that they don't show you anything. The other problem is they're controlled by big corporations, Google, Amazon, and they might be the new, I'll call them super aggregators, the people who are actually selling our products through their devices. Bit scary. 2019, the age of artificial intelligence. It's already started. I like to think nowadays that if artificial intelligence was a human being, I think it's not quite out of nappies, but it's probably toddling around at the moment. And there's a lot more to come. AI's got a big future. And in the UK in 2020, some people, not me, some people are getting excited about 5G rollout. This will be very high-speed internet available on your mobile devices. But 5G has very short range from the aerials. I'm not sure how successful it will be. But certainly there are countries in the world, I don't know about India, where most people actually use their mobile devices for all their communications and all their web surfing. I think particularly in some African countries. Yeah, is that true in India as well? Yep, okay. So maybe 5G. Is 5G rolling out here in India at all? Yep, maybe. That will be very useful indeed. So all those things have gone on. That's my mobile phone homepage. And can we just go to the next slide or the next transition? And these are, no, back again, please. Thank you. And these are all the things that I do on my phone. You can see I've got a Tesla, I've got an electric car, so I control the car. I turn on off the heating, and I have an irrigation system in the garden that I control by Internet of Things. We all have our diaries and take photographs, social media, weather, very important to me. I'm doing all those things on my phone. You are probably as well. And I do worry that we might be suffering from device management overload. Is it getting too much for us? Well, I think that artificial intelligence will probably save us as it gets more and more intelligent, and I'll explain why. Next slide, please. And again. So artificial intelligence brings relevance. And here we have Amazon and Uber, and let's have the next one as well, and Netflix. And can you see they understand me, and they're making suggestions for me. I don't need to think too much. So artificial intelligence in an increasingly confusing world, I think will bring relevance and will help us with our lives. Next one. So I see relevance as the new easy. It makes life easy for us. And easy is the new loyalty. And let me talk more about that on the next slide. And again, please. So here we have three mobile sites. Uber, so easy to use and very popular here in Mumbai, I understand. It's so easy. EasyJet in the middle. I don't think EasyJet are here at all. Just introduced a cabin bag sizer. That's something new. I haven't seen that on low-cost airlines before. Not when you get on board, you'll have room for it, but at least you've got it the right size. And on the right there is one of my favorite applications is the train line, which is a UK app for booking trains. All these three here are making life so easy for us that we wouldn't want to go elsewhere. Easy's the new loyalty. If on your website or your app, you're actually making life easy for your customers to do business with you, they haven't got time to think of anything else, they won't go elsewhere. Easy is the new loyalty. And maybe that'll be explored a bit during the forum, because we'll be having sessions on customer experience, CX, and maybe user experience, UX. So let me just conclude. Next slide, please. So the travel industry, I haven't spoken about travel at all. I've talked about the consumer technology that is driving our industry. All this technological change is causing industry consolidation as electronic markets, and online travel is an electronic market, makes it easier for the big boys to buy up the small boys. New entrants with new ideas are coming in. Airbnb might have been laughed at in the first 10 days it was introduced. Now it's a mega business. We can reach new outbound markets, and people's holiday preferences are changing. Maybe we're suffering from over-tourism in some popular destinations. Perhaps technology can cure that with some virtual reality or augmented reality. And then we're having to cope in the travel industry with unexpected crises, whether they're volcanoes erupting or terrorism or pandemics like what's happening in China right now. So these are some of the subjects we'll be tackling for the next 3 days in the OTM Forum. That's my introduction.